Hi, good evening. My name is Belu Elisa, production coordinator for Earth Celebrations. Welcome to Earth Celebrations. We are here at our Ecological City Art and Climate Solutions workshops with our artist in residence, Johanna Roa at White Rocks, New York City in the Lower East Side. We're working on costumes today with our community volunteers for the culminating Ecological City procession for climate solutions on Saturday, May 13th. Save the date. So Earth Celebrations is a non-profit organization founded in 1991, applying the arts to engage community and build creative collaboration and action on local environmental challenges and solutions, dealing with sea level rise and the community gardens and carbon pollution, things like that, addressing those things through collaboration through the arts. So that's what we're doing here today. And through the months of workshops with our community members, we are working on different costumes on Wednesdays here.
Tell me, where am I going to find a matching hat in the red?
And through these projects, you know, the community is learning about these local place-based climate solutions that are going on throughout the community gardens in the Lower East Side, which include water harvesting ponds and pollinator gardens and all these things that we are amplifying and including in our different costumes to represent the climate solutions that are possible. So this is one of our costumes that would be worn on May 13th by one of our volunteers. And as you see, we have some volunteers working on this costume. Hi. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Yeah, did you mind telling us a little bit about what you're working on?
Sure. So this is the design that Johanna made using Adobe Illustrator, basically like digital collage. And I'm working on these pants, and we're creating a kind of layered texture scale feeling. And we really just want to make sure that we're covering all the little empty spaces so that nothing underneath shows. But it's going to have a lot of movement, and it's stretchy, so if we have other volunteers, maybe someone's a little smaller, someone's a little bigger, but they'll still be able to wear it. And then this is a top.
To keep the space in.
So I think for costumes, especially things that are going to be up close and personal, texture and movement is super important because it like engages the people to like, movement always catches your eye. So I think that's a really good like design element that Johanna chose. And like all the texture is just like delightful to feel and to look at.
Yeah. So I know that you have a little bit of background in costumes. I'm wondering what your perspective is on this ability of costumes. For example, you're saying it engages very personal level.
Yeah.
What do you think of the potential for these costumes to kind of, you know, speak to these ecological issues we're facing? Do you have any? No, just like generally, like what are like some feelings thinking about the theater, for example, the performance aspect?
Yeah. I mean, I think that what we wear and clothing in general is really relatable to a lot of people because we all have to wear clothing. And I just think that interesting things are great, like visually interesting things are a great way to like get people's ideas started, you know, flowing, like starting to think about what is this design, what's the message of this design trying to say. And I also like that Johanna put images as well, it's not just about like the general aesthetic of it, because then you can ask questions about like, what is this image trying to tell me about this design or about, you know, the problem that it's trying to address. So yeah, basically, so we have a selection of images that are going to go on the skirt later on. And I guess it's just like, for this particular design, it's like just a good reminder that like we're wearing these images of things that like might not even exist in a couple years, especially like the monarch butterflies too. This particular image, you know, and like this is like a really good, it's a good reminder just to like be like visually confronted with like those realities, I think.
Yeah, that's really powerful. Thank you for sharing. It's so interesting to think about how every day, you know, we're wearing clothes, but we're not always thinking about what message or like what symbolism that we're kind of sharing with the world. So I love this. I love this idea. We can wear climate solutions, you know, literally. Oh wow, we got a comment saying thank you for all of your creative, wonderful work.
Well, I will say thank you, Johanna, for having so much, you know, creativity in her designs too, because the way this also separates into different elements, like that makes it easy for all of us to also have a hand in every part of this. So someone could be making the skirt, somebody could be making the pants, somebody could be making, you know, the shirt, and like even this is like flowers that we're making. So I think it's another good way to engage the community in different ways. Like, so everybody is touching their hands on this project and being a part of the overall creation of it too.
Yeah, do you mind speaking a little more about that collaborative process? Like, I feel like it speaks to how we like talk, like see communities. Oh yeah, thank you again. Let me. Let's see. I wonder what they say about this collaborative process we're in.
Go. So yeah, whatever you want to do.
There's no way that I can.
What's going on over here? Hey, how's it going?
Okay, just to bring it together.
What are you,
So I'm doing the last row, and then I'm going to work on the collar, so that this way, when I'll have a collar,
yeah.
so it'll look like a cape.
A collar, wow, that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, it'll be around here.
Is it a, wait, so,
The whole piece will be
There's no more pink.
coloring.
and it's gonna be a mask as well?
I don't know what part they're working on, but that is they're working on it. I'm working on the cut myself.
Wow. But like, it's kind of covering.
Yeah.
So you're just like,
I think that's the back of the
oh, it's a hood, it's a
The
hood.
back of the headpiece, yeah.
This is so cool.
Yeah, that's what it's going to look like once it's done.
I love that. It's such a beautiful project to become the costume, become the water, and become these aspects of the environment through participation. Hey guys, how are you? What are you guys working on?
So I'm working on a hat right now. Eventually it will look like this, but the base of it is just the base of a baseball cap. So I'm starting by sewing fabric over each of the panels of the baseball cap. Right now I'm hemming the edges of this because this fabric tends to come loose at the side. So slow going, but we'll get there.
Wow. Well, this is such a cool design.
Yeah.
Green solutions. That hat is awesome. And then you can see all of the different solutions. Green roofs, urban bee farms, biodegradable packaging, forest protection. That's so awesome. What do you guys feel about this project? I know that you study environmental studies, and I don't know exactly how engaged you are with environmental, but if you're here, obviously you're engaged to some degree. Yeah, do you guys feel this has what place do you feel it holds in our culture?
Well, I think living in New York City, it's become really easy to be disconnected from nature in general and to have a community around, environmentalism, just because we're so disconnected. But I think having a community effort like this where it's kind of neighborhood feel and kind of word by mouth and a bit of a more like grassroots celebration of environmental justice is really nice, which I think our celebrations does.
Thank you. Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, it's so powerful, like, to engage the community with, like, the arts, too, versus, like, having to do the more, like, I know, policy
Let that last came out.
right? Just knowing that, like, we can all have a hand in the climate solution. We can all, like, be a part of this shift. So, yeah, I wonder when you're gonna come by and see whoever's watching on the screen. I hope that you feel inspired and potentially feel inclined to come and join us. At some point, we have workshops on Wednesdays and on Saturdays. On Wednesdays, we're here from 6 to 8:30. 6 to 9, but we start cleaning up by 8:30, and we're at White Box, which is a small gallery space in the Lower East Side, and we're here every Wednesday until the procession, May 13th, working on these costumes, on these 3 costumes, and you can just come at any time and just, join in on the action.
He's like, no, we'll fix it. He would try again.
We want people to come and help out whatever stage we're at. It's a very collaborative process, as someone was saying. Like, everyone is just joining in, and one thing is being made by like 10 people or 20 people, and then Saturdays we also have workshops from 12 to 4 at Earth Celebrations, which is also on the Lower East Side. And I hope you guys come by, and thank you for tuning in, and have a great night. Bye.
Guess what? We had to take it all out because it was 7 inches and not 4. So all that had, so we made us take it all out. Now we're going back to square one.
Okay. Stretch. Let's.
Any more pieces?
But it's not a gallery because it's not a commercial space. We don't sell art. We make exhibitions. Art appreciates topics about social justice. And this exhibition are those. I have no idea. Oh, yeah.